Jamal stepped into the stark, fluorescent-lit corridor, the clanging of heavy doors echoing ominously around him. Fear gripped him, a sensation that clawed at his insides as he faced the sprawling unknown of life behind bars. Memories of his past life, laughter, freedom, and the thrill of youth faded into distant echoes. He was mere fodder for the prison's brutal hierarchy, where every encounter felt like a test of survival. As he moved deeper into the facility, Jamal encountered unfriendly glares from seasoned inmates, their eyes filled with suspicion and disdain. The guards' cold indifference only heightened his sense of alienation. In a world stripped of warmth and safety, he clung to fleeting memories of family and friends. Tucked away in his thoughts, hope flickered dimly. Perhaps he could find strength amidst the shadows and learn to navigate this unforgiving landscape. The realization began to settle in. Jail was not just punishment, it was a new reality he had to confront. Maria remembers the first time she stepped into the cafeteria, the chaotic hub of survival within the prison's walls. Amidst the clinking of metal trays and echoes of laughter, she felt an overwhelming sense of isolation. It was here, however, that she discovered an unexpected connection with a group of women who had shared her history of struggle and loss. Through whispered stories and slow, cautious smiles, they formed a sisterhood, a fortress against the torment of their pasts. Memories of betrayal from outside the prison faded as they forged new bonds, united by shared trauma. In the moments spent creating elaborate crafts and exchanging tales of hope, Maria realized strength was born from vulnerability. Together, they nurtured one another's spirits, crafting a sanctuary within the walls that confined them. As laughter echoed through the cafeteria, Maria found a flicker of light in the darkness, kindling a sense of belonging she had thought lost forever. Leonard settles into his routine, finding solace within the prison's dimly lit library. The faint rustle of pages turning and the murmurs of his fellow inmates form a backdrop for his makeshift book club. Each session becomes a sanctuary where they explore the depths of literature, discussing everything from classic novels to philosophical treatises. As they dive into the complexities of freedom, justice, and morality, Leonard reflects on his own life choices, grappling with the weight of his past. The debates ignite a spark among the participants, fostering a sense of camaraderie that often feels scarce in this unforgiving environment. Through their shared intellectual exploration, Leonard senses the potential for redemption, not just for himself, but for everyone in the room. The stories they engage with begin to resonate beyond the confines of the prison, transforming their discussions into a collective search for meaning, hope, and a future undefined by their pasts. Emma stands in the art room, a borrowed space filled with the pungent smell of paint and the muted glow of sunlight filtering through barred windows. Each stroke of her paintbrush becomes a release, transforming her pain into vivid color on canvas. As she shares her journey of addiction and incarceration with fellow inmates, a sense of catharsis envelops them. With each session, they find solace in creativity, bonding over shared experiences of heartache and loss. Emma encourages her new friends to express their emotions, teaching them that art is not merely an escape, but a path to healing. One afternoon, as they prepare for an upcoming art show, the room buzzes with excitement. They work tirelessly, their laughter sharp against the hardened silence of prison life. In that moment, they are not defined by their offenses, but by the resilience of their spirits and the profound stories woven into each piece of art. Rashid leans against the cold, concrete wall of his cell, the weight of fatherhood pressing heavily on his heart. He flips through dog-eared photographs of his son, recalling days filled with laughter and dreams now overshadowed by his reality. The distant sound of children playing in the yard serves as a cruel reminder of what he has lost. Each week, he eagerly awaits the phone call, his heart racing at the prospect of sharing wisdom and love. "Listen, son," he murmurs into the receiver, voice steady yet choked with emotion. "I want you to take the path I couldn't. Stay away from gangs. It's a trap." Writing letters of guidance becomes a ritual, each word stitched with hope as he imagines his boy's future free from the burdens of violence. In this confined space, Rashid finds purpose, a striving for redemption that transcends the prison walls, nurturing the bond that endures despite the distance. Zoe sat in her cell, the the dim light casting long shadows on the walls, mirroring the turmoil in her mind. The whispers of her plan floated through her thoughts like an intoxicating melody, drawing her closer to the edge of possibility. She gathered with her close friends in hidden corners of the yard, hushed discussions laced with adrenaline as they strategized her escape. Each conversation was a tightrope walk between excitement and fear, loyalty and treachery. As she meticulously plotted each detail, Zoe found herself grappling with what freedom truly meant. The bonds she formed during her time incarcerated tugged at her heart, forcing her to weigh the cost of leaving behind those she had come to care for deeply. Would flying free be worth sacrificing these newfound connections? The deeper she delved into her plans, the more she questioned if true escape meant breaking away from the bars or from the very people who had become her family. Jamal sat on the worn bunk, his heart pounding as he replayed the confrontation from earlier that day. The echoes of harsh words and a subsequent altercation clung to him like fog, thick and unyielding. It was a brutal reminder of the reality of prison life, where fear often blurred the lines between survival and morality. As he gazed out through the barred window, memories of his life outside flooded in, intertwining with regret. He had never imagined his impulsive decisions would lead him here, to a world where the weight of his actions felt insurmountable. The faces of his family haunted him, particularly that of his younger brother, whose innocence he felt he had betrayed. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Jamal picked up a pen and began writing a letter, a desperate attempt to convey his remorse and desire for reconciliation, hoping that healing could begin even behind these unforgiving walls. As Maria adjusts to life within the confines of prison, she finds herself facing new challenges that test her resilience and the bonds she's formed. The camaraderie of her sisterhood is put to the test when old friends resurface, not as allies but as rival gang members, eager to settle scores from the past. Tensions escalate as Maria navigates the complex dynamics of trust and betrayal. Echoes of loyalty resonate through the corridors, forcing her to confront the darkness of her former life. Every whispered rumor feels like a threat, and every encounter is charged with the weight of past grievances. In this moment of uncertainty, Maria leans on her newfound sisters, and together they strategize, reminding one another that unity is their greatest weapon against the chaos surrounding them. It's a delicate dance of survival, where every decision she makes could alter the course of not only her life, but the fragile bonds of friendship built in a place designed to tear people apart. Leonard sat quietly in the library, surrounded by an assortment of worn books that had become his sanctuary. As he flipped through the pages of Dostoevsky, he found himself reflecting on his past, the choices that had led him to this maximum security prison. With each word, he contemplated redemption and what it truly meant for someone like him. The discussions with fellow inmates had become a lifeline. They shared stories that echoed his own, each laden with the weight of regret and the desire for absolution. In a recent book club meeting, he challenged his peers to dissect their notions of morality. "What if we could rewrite our stories?" he asked, stirring a profound dialogue about atonement and personal meaning. The more they explored these ideas, the more Leonard realized that their lives were interwoven, a tapestry of struggles and dreams. In their shared vulnerability, he found the seeds of hope. Perhaps there was still a way forward, a path toward a brighter future. Emma stands in the small art studio, the faint scent of paint lingering in the air. Today marks a turning point. Her vision of an art show has finally come to life. Inmates gather around, eyes wide with anticipation as she unveils their collective work, pieces that reflect their struggles and dreams. Each canvas tells a story, a burst of color representing hope, shadows capturing pain, and abstract forms conveying their turbulent emotions. The atmosphere shifts from hushed whispering to an overwhelming sense of pride and acceptance. As they embrace their vulnerability, laughter erupts, bridging the gaps of their pasts. In that moment, Emma realizes the transformative power of creativity. It becomes a lifeline, offering solace amidst despair. In these shared expressions, they are not just inmates, but artists, reclaiming their narratives. Their faces glow with newfound confidence, a reminder that healing is possible even within the confines of the prison walls. Rashid sits in his cramped cell, the dull pencil scratching against the worn paper, pouring his heart into letters for his son. Each word carries the weight of hope, a lifeline stretching beyond prison walls. He recalls the laughter they once shared, dreams whispered in the quiet hours before sleep. Now, those memories fuel his resolve to break the cycle of violence that binds them. As he writes, he reflects on his regrets, the lessons learned through hardship, and the importance of guiding his son away from the mistakes that trapped him. With every letter, he imagines a future filled with possibility, a chance for his boy to thrive in a world Rashid hopes to protect. Through this act of writing, Rashid not only seeks reconciliation, but also finds his own redemption. The power of his words becomes a testament to the strength of a father's love, even from behind bars. Zoe sat alone in her dimly lit cell, the weight of her decision pressing down like the thick, cold bars that confined her. Whispers of her escape plan danced in her mind, thrilling yet terrifying. She recalled the camaraderie she had built among her fellow inmates. They had become her unlikely family, a source of strength in darkness. The thought of leaving them behind gnawed at her heart. Was freedom worth sacrificing those connections, those shared moments of laughter and pain? As she stared at the wall, she imagined what lay beyond, the sun on her skin, the wind in her hair, and yet she envisioned the empty expressions of her friends when they learned she had vanished. With each passing moment, her resolve wavered, revealing the tangled web of loyalty and sacrifice. In this pivotal moment, Zoe realized that the true essence of freedom was not merely escaping bars, but finding her place within her chosen family. Jamal sits on the edge of his bunk, the worn pages of his diary open before him, revealing the turmoil that has haunted him since his arrival. The weight of regret presses heavily on his chest as he reflects on his past actions, the momentary impulse that spiraled into a life-altering mistake. He finds solace in the support of his fellow inmates, their shared stories weaving a tapestry of pain and redemption. In a hushed corner of the yard, he seeks forgiveness from a long-lost brother, a voice echoing in his mind. "I'm sorry," he whispers to the empty air, hoping that the apology finds its way to those he's hurt. Each day spent surrounded by his peers, bonded by struggle, urges him toward healing. Here, amidst the concrete walls and the cries of despair, he learns that absolution isn't a destination but a journey, a step toward understanding the man he wishes to become.